Ana Akila binti Zulkifli. My ID number is DA98040. Today I want to present about logical fallacies. Okay, what is logical fallacies? Logical fallacies are flaws in a reasoning that lead to faulty or illogical statements. They are reasonable argument name for what has gone wrong during the reasoning process. They tend to occur when ideas are being argued, as in a typical English essay. Okay, as we know, the logical fallacies have eight type of logical fallacies. The first one is hasty generalization. The number two is circular reasoning. Number three is special pleading. Number four is equivocation. Number five is false analogy. Number six is false dilemma. Number seven ad hominem, and the last one is loaded question. The first one is hasty generalization. What meaning is hasty generalization? There are means that drawing a conclusions based on a small sample size rather than looking at statistics that are much more in line with a typical of average situation. Okay, number two is it means that fallacies in which conclusions is not logically justified by suspicions or obvious evidence. We can look at example of hasty generalization, like Donald Trump announces presidential bid by trashing Mexico. NBC News. Okay, this article tells us it is an example of stereotyping, common example of hasty generalization. Okay, how can we avoid hasty generalization? Based on the slideshow, we can consider a larger sample size. Number two, we can offer counter as example, and number three is we can use a precise language. In conclusions, we don't base decisions on small size when much more reliable data access. Okay, the next is circular reasoning. That's also called circular argument. Okay, what meaning is circular reasoning? Circular reasoning means a logical fallacy in which the reasoner begins with that they are trying to end with. Basically, a topic being stretched out more and more into a cycle of deeper meaning. For example, like you give me a C, but I am a A student. Another example is I know he is mad because I know. Okay, the last one example is the Bible is the word of God because God tells us it is in the Bible. That's called circular reasoning. Okay, now we go to the special pleading. Special pleading, also called stacking the deck. Special pleading means a fallacy in which a person describes any fact that do not favor his or her argument. For example, a boy about a speeding ticket. His mother pulls the policeman to the side and say, I know he broke the law, but he is my son and he is a good boy. He deserves a second chance. This article told us about the finding of an argument for a conclusion given in advance. It is not philosophy but special pleading. Okay, we go to the equivocation of logical fallacies. It means alternating between the different meaning of a word in the agreement premise. The use of ambiguous language or unclear words to mislead the reader or to conquer the truth. An argument is deductively valid the truth of the conclusions. For example, like noisy children, a real headache. And aspirin will make headache go away. Therefore, as, as aspirin will make noisy children go away. That's called evocation. Next, we go to the false analogy. What's meaning is false analogy. False analogy means a comparison between two things that are different in some essential way. The difference might be bigger than the similarities. When an author make a comparison between two things, even or people, that is unfair or misleading. For example, students should be able to use their notes and textbook on exam because surgeons get to use X-ray and MRI image during surgery. This is an example of false analogy because students and surgeons are not alike. During exam, students need to show what they have learned, whereas surgeons have already proven their knowledge and they are completing a task. Okay, I want to tell about false dilemma. False dilemma are one type of informal fallacy. This fallacy presents a limited number of unreasonable choice and demands a choice between them while not allowing any other option. The main way to counter a false dilemma is to demonstrate that the options which were mentioned in the dilemma are not mutually exclusive, or that there are additional available options beyond the ones that were mentioned. For example, like you are either with Earth or against Earth. Okay, number 7 is ad hominem. Ad hominem means an abusive attack against someone making an argument instead of addressing the argument itself. We should make sure to avoid attacking the source of an argument instead of attacking the argument itself. Um, like, for example, you failed third grade, so your agreement is invalid. There are other example like you can't go to law school. Your dad is a criminal. That's called as a ad hominem. Okay, the ad hominem agreement also brought forward attack this prior agreement by agreeing that is a person of bad character, like that. Okay, we go to the last of logical fallacies, named loaded question. A loaded question is a question that makes one or more unwarranted or unjustified assumptions. Okay, for example, hey AJ, do you still cheat on exam? Is an example of loaded question. The question assumes that AJ has cheated in the past. If AJ has never cheated or fat chance, the assumption is warranted and so the question is alluded because the damage is done. Now I want to tell how can logical fallacies be effective. Okay, logical fallacies work because they make a message feels more persuasive. The second is logical fallacies work because undermine the academic effectiveness of writing. In conclusion, logical fallacies is important for everyone because logical fallacies can often be used to mislead people, like to trick them into believing something they otherwise will not. The ability to discern a valid argument from a false one is an important skill. It is a key aspect of critical thinking, and it can help you to avoid falling prey to fake news.